Okay, guys, so apparently Andy Samberg is being an absolute idiot. Just complete idiot. But are we surprised by this? I sure hope not. Roll that intro. Actor Andy Samberg tells critics of the Oscars' new representation inclusion standards to screw off. Dark Crystal Age of Resistance actor. Three, two, one. Actor Andy Samberg tells critics of the new Oscars representation and inclusion standards to screw off. Dark Crystal Age of Resistance voice actor Andy Samberg recently told critics of the new representation and inclusion standards to screw off. Samberg, who voiced the heretic, aka Sketgra, appeared on Variety's Awards Circuit podcast to promote his upcoming film, Palm Springs. While on the podcast, he discussed the new representation and inclusion standards for the Oscars. He stated, quote, "The Oscar thing. The people having issues with that are insane. The parameters, if you look at them closely, you can have the widest cast in the history of cinema and still very easily meet them by just doing a few key roles behind the camera. People who have problems with it can F off," the Hotel Transylvania actor added. Back in September, the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences announced new representation standard and inclusion standards for Oscar eligibility in the Best Picture category that are set to take effect for the 96 Oscars in 2024. Academy President David Rubin, oh no. I know it's not Dave Rubin, the political commentator, but it's just so unfortunate that that's his name. David Rubin and Academy CEO Don Hudson prefaced the new standard saying, quote, "The aperture must widen to reflect our diverse global population in both the creation of motion pictures and in the audience who can connect with them. The Academy is committed to playing a vital role in helping making this a reality." Now wait. So if you're wanting the audience to connect with them, why is it that Mr. Samberg stated that you can just have a white cast, but then you can just have the poor minority folk behind the camera, and that'll be perfectly okay. That'll be totally fine. That doesn't seem like I understand that people of all races want to be camera operators. I get that, but if you're looking at virtue signaling points, that just doesn't add up. They added, "We believe these inclusion standards will be a catalyst for a long-lasting, essential change within our industry." As for the specific requirements, they require that films meet 2 of 4 standards to be eligible. The first standard is on-screen representation, themes and narratives. The second, creative leadership and project team. The third is industry access and opportunities. Finally, the fourth is audience development. On-screen representation, themes, and narratives. Each of the individual standards has their own substandards they have to meet in order to meet the first standard of on-screen representation. Themes and narratives. The film must have at least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. They can also have at least 30% of all actors in secondary and more minor roles be from, quote, underrepresented groups. That includes women, racial ethnic groups, LGBTQ+, and people with cognitive or physical disabilities. So you are wanting to give sympathy to people who are minorities and disabled. You're not wanting them to actually work for their roles. You're wanting to give them sympathy. This is, hey, we're pitying you, so we're going to give you these roles and make it a requirement because we feel sorry for you and we don't think you're good enough to actually make it on your own, so we have to spoon feed you this opportunity. I know, me being in one of those minority categories, I would sure as heck tell them to screw right off. Creative leadership. For second standard, creative leadership, the film must have at least 2 of the following creative leadership positions and department heads: casting director, cinematographer, composer, costume designer, director, editor, hairstylist, makeup artist, producer, production designer, set creator, sound effects, video effects supervisor, writer. These positions must be filled by the aforementioned and underrepresented groups. If they do not meet the first substandard, and they can also have at least 6 other crew/team technical positions, excluding production assistants, are from an underrepresented radical or racial ethnic group. These positions include, but are not limited to, first AD, gaffer, script supervisor, etc. Finally, the last standard is to achieve creative leadership standards is have at least 30% of the film's crew be from the aforementioned, quote, underrepresented groups. That includes women, racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ+, or people with cognitive or physical disabilities, because we do not think you're good enough to actually get these jobs on your own, so we have to make rules in place to spoon feed you. Okay, so essentially, all this is, it's just them being like, Minorities can't do this on their own. We, as the super rich white folk, have to spoon feed it to you. I'm sorry, but as a minority myself, that's a little bit insulting. In fact, that's really insulting if you want me to tell you the honest truth. And Andy, you're an idiot, because you're just like, oh, well, guys, you know, just give the grunt work to the minorities, and then you can easily pass through the Oscars' very stupid new guidelines. Do you realize how racist that sounds? The worst kind of racist is an unintentional racist, a person who thinks that they're not being racist, but they clearly are. So you can read the whole Bounding into Comics article down below. I will leave a link to it either on behind the iCard or in the description or pinned comment. But Andy Samberg, you're a fool. You're an idiot. You're ignorant, as always, because you know that a lot of these critics are minorities too. A lot of times these Hollywood actors seem to think that it's just a bunch of old white folk that think this way. But minorities like myself, I'm sure people like, you know, some black guy or It's a Trap Productions or Divana, all these minorities think the same way. It's stupid. And what you're doing is you're actually being disrespectful to those with cognitive disabilities and who are LGBT and who are minority in race. You're being disrespectful to them by saying, hey, you can't do this on your own. We're going to spoon feed you. So that's the video for the day, guys. I hope you appreciate it. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. Comment down below, tell me what you think. Subscribe, hit the bell if you want to see more of my content. Share this video because it tells the algorithm that you want to see more of this. This is Gabe Happy Blobfish Productions signing off, saying take care and God bless. Peace out, everybody.